In terms of what kind of books do I cover, whether I'm reading fiction or nonfiction, there are lessons to be learned, there's some self-growth and different things to think about. These are two of my bookcases, and I'll be going through some of the different books. Quick tour. Up at the top, I have my books on chakras and feng shui. The next cube, which you can't currently see, but I have my books by Martha Beck, Dan Millman, Stephen Covey. This will always be changing in my videos because these are the books that I'm currently reading or planning to read over the next few weeks. So as I finish books, those change, and then I'm always adding books there. Behind them are my works from people who channel work. So people like Esther Hicks, Jane Roberts, Creon. Here I have my books on energy work, so theta healing, Reiki, Qigong. Here I have a variety of books, some on psychics, some on this one being an empath, plant life intelligence. The far cube are my books on anatomy and reflexology, as well as Tibetan medicine and Chinese medicine. I've recently moved some of my supplies and art books out to the living room. I have acrylic painting for dummies, my how to sketch plants book, and my spirograph set, which as I just pulled that out, I'm thinking would make for some very interesting mandalas as I practice with those. See, things always connect. My next set of cubes has a variety of different things. So I have Scotland, which is a book filled with photographs of different parts of Scotland and information about there. I have the Voynich manuscript. Next to that, I have the World Treasury of Astronomy, Physics, and Mathematics. I have Nietzsche, and that's a combination of three of his books. It's been a little while since I've read anything by Nietzsche, so I'm looking forward to revisiting that. Then I have The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown and Secrets of the Code by Dan Bernstein. I've had this book for a while, but I've never actually read it. So first I'm going to read the Da Vinci Code and then read The Secrets to find out how those two connect. I have my two politically correct bedtime stories books, Aesop's Fables and Grimm's Fairy Tales. I've had both of those for over 50 years as they're books that I read when I was, well, literally just a kid. In fact, I think Aesop's Fables is why I enjoy parables like The Alchemist and Celestine Prophecy. They're stories that have lessons and purpose. The next cube are my reference books. In other words, books that I refer to as I'm pulling information together from all my other reading and research. So I have Secret Signs and Symbols, Mythical Creatures, The Elemental Guide to Vampires, a volume on vampires, Ghosts by Hans Holzer, a huge volume on witches, also by Hans Holzer, and a huge book on Egyptian mythology. And next to that, Hubble, which has a number of beautiful images that were captured by Hubble, as well as information. Above that, I have two anthologies, one on vampires, one on werewolves. I have a book on mythology, which is again a reference book. This book talks about art and the different symbols within pictures. Llewellyn, Psychic Empowerment, that goes through a variety of different subjects and exercises. I have a book of correspondences, so connecting animals with plants, with astrological symbols. I have two other books on signs and symbols. So when it comes to signs and symbols, I have three different books by three different authors. And I have a book on Roswell, Sasquatch, crop circles, Atlantis, and in the corner I have two interesting books. This one is Vampire, the Terrifying Lost Journal of Dr. Cornelius Van Helsing. And it's an interesting book, has maps, there's different information, so it's just kind of a fun read. Another book that I enjoy is Dragonology, and I love that it has these 3 gems on it. There's runic writing at the top, the complete book of dragons. The artwork is amazing, and again, there's different information. It's an interesting read. I've made some changes to my cubes from my earlier video, so I now have my cookbooks and my homemade crafts. I've moved my calligraphy and knitting projects and recipes I need to get together. Still need to get this shelf organized, and I have 2 of my new books waiting to be read. This cube I'll be setting up as a memorial for our fur babies. I have books on different spirituality, my wildcat books, so panthers and leopards, that has some beautiful photography. I have Homer, 3 dragons in my incense box, my library books, so I always know where to find them. I have my different books on the Celts, Mayan prophecies and Nephilim, astrology, quantum physics, chemistry, my gardening books and nature. I have the start of my books on ancient civilizations and cultures, and my books on weather, global warming, Egypt, more ancient cultures, different beliefs, King Arthur, Templars. New Spring happened to get in there. I need to that's the last book I need to finish for the Wheel of Time. A few of my fiction books waiting to go back downstairs. My craft books, some CDs, my husband's Far Side collection, Edgar, who I need to find a better space for, Zachariah Sitchin, Graham Hancock, UFOs, and my astronomy and other UFO books. That gives you a small idea of some of the books that will be coming up in future videos. If any of those sound of interest to you, if you've read some of these authors, let me know in the comments down below.